So, for those of you who don't know who Gregg Valentino is, he's the half-brother of Danny DeVito, but because he wasn't as tall, smart, or handsome as his brother, he couldn't get into acting, and his insecurities and jealousy towards his brother got him into bodybuilding, and now he's well known in the fitness industry as the man whose arms exploded. Now that we have that backstory out of the way, Gregg recently made a video about how terrible vegan diets are, and as you all requested, I'm going to make him look like an idiot if that wasn't already obvious.
What are you gonna get out of that? Where the fuck are you gonna get protein out of that shit? To build a house, you gotta have bricks, you gotta have wood, you gotta have cement. That's what you build a house out of. Alright, simmer down, some of you, there's protein in nuts. You can't build a house with the protein of a nut.
You can't build a house with the protein of a nut. Gregg Valentino. Okay, first off, it's a pretty good sign that you have no fucking idea of what you're talking about when you have to talk about building houses rather than explaining the exact biological reasons why a human cannot build muscle mass on a vegan diet. And here's vegan bodybuilder and powerlifter Avi Liani, who has been vegan for over 30 years. Now, he might not be able to build a house out of protein from nuts, but doesn't look like he has any problem building muscle. Plants happen to contain all of the essential amino acids we need, and claiming they don't give us the building blocks to build muscle is just demonstrably wrong. And all you've done this entire video is display your own ignorance, and you provided no evidence nor even any reasonable logical explanations to support your opinion.
Don't give me that bullshit. That fucking beans that you're gonna get fucking vegetable protein. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Unless you're a cow, that shit's not gonna work.
And here you're just admitting that you decided, whether it's true or not, that you can't build muscle on high-protein plant foods. You obviously don't care about the truth, and you're just stating things that you want to be true. Why won't it work, Gregg? Why can't you build muscle as a vegan? Can you give us any kind of explanation? Is it because you can't build a house out of nuts? I've never seen anyone build a house out of meat, but I have seen people build bamboo houses.
We are humans. We are not vegans. Naturally.
We are not vegans naturally. Scott Mendelson. Gregg Valentino. And now you're just making an appeal to nature fallacy, which I find really strange coming from a guy who injected steroids and oil into his arms. Are steroids natural? Is synthol natural? Is having 28-inch arms natural? I don't really give a fuck about what's natural, and neither should you. You should only be concerned with what's ideal for your health and fitness.
We are meat eaters. It wasn't until our ancestors started eating meat that we went from being a fucking ape to being a fucking, king of the jungle, motherfucker. It was when humans started eating meat. Their brains grew.
Well, I don't mean to insult anyone's cat, but I don't see a correlation between meat eating and intelligence. And anthropology experts seem to think that fire in cooking our food had more of an impact on our brain development than simply eating meat, as it made digestion much easier and allowed us to extract more energy and nutrients from our food. Not only that, but cooking also reduced the amount of time that it took to chew our food. Great apes spend 4 to 7 hours a day just chewing, which is not an activity that prioritizes intelligence. It seems that meat eating was never really necessary for our brain development, at least as far as nutrition is concerned. Now, hunting likely aided with our brain development by requiring us to communicate and develop strategies, but there are now much better ways to challenge your mind, and you even admitted yourself that you don't hunt and you hate seeing animals killed.
Alright, let's get one thing straight. Just like you, I'm an animal lover too. If I was to see like a cow walking around and you shot it and then cut it up and put it on a fucking, I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't eat it. I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit there and look on my plate and know that this is the animal I raised, or I saw this fucking thing walking around. Because when I buy a steak or I buy any meat, to me, in my brain, a steak is a steak.
Okay, so humans are natural meat eaters and predators, but apparently we don't have any ingrained predatory instincts, and seeing animals killed upsets you. Do you think lions or tigers ever have that problem? Not to mention our entire physiology is geared towards eating plants. We have flat teeth, carbohydrate digesting enzymes in our saliva, a stomach acid pH of 4 to 5, intestines 10 to 11 times the length of our body, a long sacculated colon, and a liver that cannot detoxify vitamin A. Not only that, but we can also get the disease known as atherosclerosis, the clogging of our arteries caused by high serum cholesterol levels. Only herbivorous animals can get the disease as they do not have the means to properly regulate the increase in serum cholesterol caused by dietary saturated fat and cholesterol. So what do you have to argue, Greg? Plant foods very clearly provide us with all the nutrients we need for our health and athletic goals. We have evolved to eat plant foods. Animal foods increase our risk of chronic disease. We have no ingrained predatory instincts. And if you were in a position where you had to hunt your food, you'd go fucking vegan.
I've never met a jacked bodybuilder that only eats vegetables.
Well, maybe since vegans only make up about 3% of the American population, you probably shouldn't base your argument on weak anecdotal claims. Now, I did already mention Avi Liani, who is jacked as fuck, but let's take it to another level. Reigning Mr. Universe, Barney Duplessis recently went vegan, and in an interview he stated that he's now all about the vegan gains. Oh! He also claims there's been no negatives going vegan, he's put on more mass, he wakes up with more energy, and he recovers faster. For the haters, he exclaims, people say you can't be a top athlete as a vegan. Absolute bollocks.
And if there is one out there, it's because he's taking fucking massive amounts of shit, and I don't know what the fuck, he's sneak-eating fucking vegetable, sneak-eating protein and meat and shit.
Okay, so now you're criticizing vegans for having to take steroids to get big? I thought you said you loved steroids.
I love steroids. I'd be jamming them up my ass right now if I could.
And I thought vegan diets didn't supply you with the proper building materials to grow muscle. How would steroids help you build muscle if you don't have the building materials? And aren't the huge, jacked, meat-eating bodybuilders you were just talking about on massive amounts of gear? So wouldn't this be a fair apples-to-apples comparison? And really, sneak-eating meat, again, this is just another lame excuse to make up for your arguments that you know are weak.
Be a fucking man. Eat a goddamn fucking, eat some fucking beef.
Be a man, eat some beef. Gregg Valentino. Really? So eating beef makes you a man? Did you eat a lot of beef when you were in prison? Did you feel manly in those situations? You even admitted that you can't stand seeing animals die and that you have to shelter yourself away from reality just so that you can stand eating meat. Does that seem manly to you, to act like a coward that can't handle reality and to get someone else to commit acts that you yourself find unjustifiable? You know what, Greg? You might act like a complete asshole all the time and act big and tough and loud and puff your chest out, but I think deep down, really fucking deep down, you just might be a good guy and you're doing and saying all this shit just to make up for your insecurities. You said it yourself that you hate seeing animals murdered. So guess what? You don't have to be a part of it. A vegan diet improves your health and athletic performance for any sport you could possibly be interested in, and now even Mr. Universe is fucking vegan! So how about you put your ego and insecurities to the side and for once do something that makes sense and go vegan. It makes a hell of a lot more sense than injecting steroids and synthol into your arms, ending up in jail, and eating your cellmate's beef.
Beef. What a relief. When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how.